The alien council judged Earth, and every galaxy expected us to beg. They gathered in their grand chamber, hundreds of alien leaders ready to crush humanity forever. But Earth didn't send an army. We sent her. One woman, one smile, and secrets that could shatter every alien empire in the room. In the next 30 minutes, you'll find out why the galaxy still whispers her name, and why those who judged Earth ended up on their knees. Welcome to Sarge's Tells, where we tell the stories they don't want you to hear. I'm your storyteller for tonight, the voice that brings you right into the heart of humanity's most dangerous and most seductive moments in the galaxy. And this is one story you'll never forget. Let's begin. The chamber doors slid open with a slow, metallic hiss. Every alien head turned. She walked in like she owned the place. Captain Serena Vale, Earth's chosen representative, and the most dangerous human in the galaxy. Not because she carried weapons, but because she didn't need any. Her black command suit hugged her body like it had been made for her and only her, the leather-like fabric catching the warm glow of the chamber's lights. Every step echoed against the polished floor, slow, deliberate, almost like she wanted them to hear the sound of her arrival. The Galactic Council Hall was massive, carved into the side of a hollowed asteroid, its walls glittering with embedded starlight crystals. Dozens of alien species sat in tiered seats, their eyes, or whatever counted as eyes, fixed on her. Some looked curious, some looked angry, and some looked at her in a way they shouldn't have during an official trial. Serena reached the central platform, stopping just short of the elevated table where the Council's 13 high members sat. The leader, a towering insectoid named Xith, tapped one claw on the armrest. "And," he said, his voice clicking like breaking glass, "you stand accused of violating interstellar law. Your planet will answer for—" "Cut to the fun part," Serena interrupted, smiling. Her voice was calm, but her eyes, they burned with the kind of confidence that made weaker beings look away. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Interrupting the council leader was unheard of. Xith's mandibles twitched. Earth's arrogance will be its— Arrogance? Serena leaned forward slightly, resting her palms on the smooth glass surface of the console before her. "Sweetheart, you haven't even seen arrogance yet." A few aliens shifted in their seats. One lizard-like ambassador coughed to hide what looked like a grin. The prosecutor, a silver-skinned telepath named Vera, stood. "The evidence speaks for itself," she said, her voice echoing. "Your species has been caught interfering with younger civilizations, corrupting them." Serena tilted her head. "Corrupting?" She let the word hang in the air. Then, with a playful smirk, "Oh, honey, we don't corrupt them. They invite us in, again and again." Laughter, sharp and uneasy, broke out among some council members. Others just stared, not understanding the human humor. The holographic display came to life, showing scenes of human ships landing on alien worlds, humans trading goods, teaching technology, even sharing drinks in alien taverns. The crowd murmured, and Xith's voice boomed. "Do you deny these actions?" Serena straightened, brushing an invisible speck from her sleeve. "No, I don't." The silence that followed was heavy. Confession, without fear. "Then Earth will—" "But," she said, her tone slicing through his words like a blade, "before you hand down your sentence, shouldn't we talk about your own little adventures?" Several council members froze. The insectoid leader's eyes narrowed. "What are you implying?" Serena stepped around the platform slowly, letting her boots click against the floor. She stopped beside a broad-shouldered alien warlord with 4 tusks and skin like stone. "Counselor Brack," she said sweetly, "remember that human pilot you met on Vega Station 3 years ago? The one who taught you dancing?" Her smile widened. "You told everyone she was teaching you strategy moves. Cute story." Gasps again. The warlord's stone skin flushed dark, and he looked away. Serena moved on. "Counselor Vorash?" she purred, addressing a tall, eel-like being in a shimmering robe. "Still hiding those vacation photos?" Whispers spread like fire through the chamber. Xith slammed a claw on the table. "This is irrelevant." "Oh, it's very relevant," Serena said, "because you're not judging Earth for what we did. You're judging us for what we made you do." The words hit like a shockwave. For a moment, no one spoke. Even the prosecutor looked unsettled. Then Vera recovered. "Humans think charm will save them, but your fate is already decided." Serena chuckled softly, leaning back against the console. "You think I'm here to save myself? Oh no. I'm here to make you remember me." Her gaze locked on Kazith's. "And when you remember me, you'll remember Earth." The insectoid leader's mandibles clicked faster. "You are playing a dangerous game, human." Serena's lips curved upward, slow, deliberate. "Darling, I don't play games." Her voice dropped, just enough to make the closest microphones catch it. "I win them." Silence, then murmurs, then louder whispers. The atmosphere in the chamber shifted, like prey realizing the predator was them. Outside, beyond the crystal walls, a massive shadow drifted across the stars. Something was approaching, something big enough to block the light of an entire asteroid field. Serena glanced upward and smiled like she had just been given a petit paw. "Good," Jace said, stepping closer to the council. "Then she knows what I'm thinking right now." Vera's silver eyes widened, just slightly, and she sat back down. Serena turned back to the council table. "See, here's the thing. You can accuse Earth all you want, but when you do, you attract attention." She gestured toward Jace. "And sometimes, the wrong kind of attention." Kazith's mandibles clicked in frustration. "What game are you playing, human?" Jace answered instead, leaning on the council table. "The kind where you don't realize you've already lost." The chamber was tense now. Half the council's attention was on Serena. The other half was trying not to look at Jace's armor, which still bore fresh scorch marks from a battle he'd clearly just fought. "Let's get to the fun part," Serena said. "Because you and I both know you're not here to judge Earth. You're here to keep certain secrets from coming out." Xith's head tilted sharply. "What secrets?" Serena's eyes sparkled. "Oh, I could tell them, but it would be so much more entertaining to show them." Jace raised a brow. "You're really gonna do it?" Serena's smile was slow, dangerous. "Oh, yes. I'm gonna do it." She tapped the holographic console in front of her. The room dimmed. A massive projection appeared above the council table, and it wasn't evidence of Earth's crimes. It was a recording, an alien leader, not just any leader, but Kazith himself, in what looked like a private meeting with a human woman. And not the business kind. Gasps exploded through the hall. Some council members covered their mouths. Others leaned forward, fascinated. Kazith's mandibles froze mid-click. "You wouldn't dare." "Oh, darling," Serena purred. "You really don't know humans very well." The projection hung in the air like a forbidden fruit. Every alien eye was locked on it. Some leaned forward, others leaned back, pretending not to watch, but still stealing glances. Xith's mandibles twitched in pure rage. "Turn it off," he hissed. "Now!" Serena didn't even look at him. She paced slowly, the heels of her boots clicking against the polished floor, a sound that now seemed louder than the hum of the projection itself. "See," she said softly, "humans, we don't win because we have the biggest fleets or the strongest weapons." She stopped and turned toward the alien leaders, her voice dropping into a teasing whisper. "We win because we know what makes people weak." Jace chuckled under his breath. "She's just warming up." The silver-skinned prosecutor Vera stood abruptly, her voice sharp. "This is not evidence. This is blackmail." Serena smiled at her. "You say blackmail. I say negotiation." A few alien council members actually laughed. Short, awkward bursts quickly hidden behind coughs. But the damage was done. The room had shifted. Serena was no longer the one on trial. Xith slammed his claw against the table, cracking the surface. "You think one recording will save your world?" "Oh no," Serena said, tilting her head. "I think the other 12 will." That made them sit up straighter. She had more. And they knew. She wasn't bluffing. Vera's voice softened, almost curious. "Why, human? Why fight so hard for a planet the Council could crush in an hour?" Serena walked toward her, slow and deliberate, her smirk returning. "Because my planet is worth fighting for. And because—" She leaned close enough that Vera's silver eyes widened just a fraction. "We're a lot more fun to keep around than you'd like to admit." Behind her, Jace was scanning the council hall, his visor's HUD flashing warnings. Something was moving outside again. Something big. Xith tried to speak, but Serena cut him off with a raised hand. "You see, you can't just erase humans from your galaxy. We've been in your bars, your trade ports, your beds." She let that last word hang in the air, dripping with implication. Several council members shifted uncomfortably. One or two didn't even try to hide their smiles. "And once you've had a little Earth in your life," Serena added, "you always come back for more." Jace shook his head with a grin. "You do love the dramatic speeches." "Only when they work," Serena replied. The crystal walls around the chamber flickered, shadows passing over them. The alien guards looked up. Even the council members noticed now. Vera frowned. "What is that?" Serena turned to face the massive crystal windows. And outside, shapes emerged from the dark. Not ships, not asteroids, but living things. Huge, winged, and heading straight for the council hall. Gasps filled the room. One council member shouted for the shields to be raised. Serena just smiled, her voice calm. "Now, here's the real question." She turned back to Xith, her eyes glinting. "Do you want to finish this trial, or survive what's coming?" The first impact shook the entire chamber. Crystals rattled in the walls. The council's holographic displays flickered and glitched. Guards rushed toward the windows and froze. The massive winged beasts weren't just attacking, they were circling, gliding in slow, deliberate arcs, like predators sizing up prey. Xith shouted, "Raise the shields to maximum!" A guard replied in panic, "Shields are already at full, Council Leader." Serena stood at the center of the chaos, calm as ever. "They're not here to kill you," she said softly, her gaze following the largest beast as it hovered outside the crystal wall. "Not yet." Vera turned sharply toward her. "You control them?" Serena's lips curled in a slow smile. "Control is such a strong word. Let's just say we understand each other." Jace folded his arms. Translation: she bribed them. Serena shot him a look. "Don't ruin the mystery, Commander." The largest winged beast lowered its head, its jaw, glowing amber eyes locking onto Serena through the glass. It let out a sound, deep, resonant, almost like a purr, that made the crystal walls tremble. Several council members recoiled in fear. One muttered, "Those are Draxian hunters. They're not supposed to leave their homeworld." "Supposed to," Serena echoed. She tilted her head toward Xith. "You see, that's the problem with rules. They're so breakable." Xith slammed his claw down. "Human, call them off, now!" Serena pretended to think about it. Tempting. But why would I? "Because your planet's fate, my planet's fate," she cut in, "was decided the moment you summoned me here." Her voice softened into a purr. "Now it's your fate that's in question." Jace took a step forward, his tone light but his eyes scanning every corner of the hall. "Serena, tell me you at least warned them what would happen if they didn't play nice." "Oh, I warned them," she said, locking eyes with Xith. "I told them, if the Council even thought about harming Earth." She smiled wider. "I'd feed them a feast they'd never forget." Xith froze. realization dawning in his alien eyes. That feast. You mean... Another impact shook the chamber, this one harder than before. The crystal wall cracked. Blue shield energy flared and fizzled. Council members began shouting over one another, demanding emergency evacuation. Serena didn't raise her voice. She simply spoke, and the whole room heard her. Drop the charges. Remove Earth from your enemy list, and I call them off. It wasn't a request. It was a deal. And the alien leaders knew. She had them. But before Kazith could answer, the largest beast slammed into the crystal wall again. And this time, the crack spread. Through the widening fracture, icy air rushed in from the asteroid's thin atmosphere. The beasts let out a chorus of hunting cries. Serena's eyes never left Kesey. You've got 5 seconds before they stop circling and start feeding. Kazith's mandibles opened to speak, and that's when the crack gave way. Shards of glowing crystal exploded inward. The winged beasts poured into the chamber. They didn't attack right away. They landed, massive wings folding, sharp talons scraping the floor, and surrounded the council like a living wall. One of them lowered its head to Serena, and she reached up, resting her hand against its scaled cheek as if greeting an old friend. You've grown, she murmured, and you've been eating well. The beast's amber eyes narrowed at Kazith, then it bared its teeth. The insectoid leader leaned back in his seat, his voice trembling for the first time. What do you want from us, human? Serena's smirk returned, the same one that had unnerved them since the moment she walked in. Oh, sweetheart, I want many things. Her gaze slid over the council members, teasing, dangerous. But let's start with you saying please. The beasts stood like statues, but their eyes followed every twitch, every movement from the alien leaders. One shift from a council member, and sharp talons tapped the floor in warning. Kazith's mandibles clicked faster, his pride fighting with fear. Finally, his voice came out low and strained. Please. Serena arched an eyebrow. Oh no, darling, not like that. I want to feel it. He stared at her, clearly hating every second. Please, spare the council. She tilted her head, smiling like a cat with a trapped mouse. Better. But you know, spare is such a boring word. How about you say exactly what you want? Another council member, a scaled matriarch draped in gold, snapped, You mock this chamber. Serena glanced at her and purred. Not mocking, just making sure we speak clearly. It's important in negotiations. Her eyes dropped briefly to the matriarch's ornate necklace. Nice jewels, by the way. I wonder who gave them to you. The matriarch's nostrils flared. Jace chuckled. You're enjoying this way too much. Oh, Commander, Serena said without looking back. This is the fun part. She turned to the council again. Drop all charges against Earth. Remove us from your watch lists. And... Her gaze swept the room slowly. Make it public. Every star system needs to hear the council's words. Gasps erupted. One elderly alien shouted, That would make us look weak! Serena stepped closer to the table, her smile razor sharp. It wouldn't make you look weak. It would make you look smart. You get to say you forged peace. You get to say you value humanity. She paused. And you get to keep breathing. A deep growl rolled through the chamber as one of the beasts opened its jaws wide, showing rows of curved, gleaming teeth. Xith's mandibles tightened. You have no idea what enemies you will make today, human. Serena's smirk didn't waver. Oh, I have every idea, and I'm counting on it. The council members began murmuring frantically among themselves. A few glanced at the shattered crystal wall and the winged beasts waiting just beyond it. Finally, Vera, the silver-skinned telepath, stood and addressed Serena directly. If we agree, will you leave peacefully? Serena took a long, deliberate step toward her. Sweetheart, I'll leave you in one piece. How peaceful it feels is up to you. Jace cleared his throat. I'd take the deal if I were you. There was a long pause, then Kazith raised a claw. The council accepts your terms. Serena's smile was slow, satisfied. See, that wasn't so hard. She turned to the beasts and gave a small hand signal. They relaxed, but didn't leave. Release the public statement now, Serena said. I want to hear it, with my own ears. Vera tapped into the hall's comm system. Her voice, calm but tense, echoed across the galaxy. By unanimous decision, the Galactic Council clears Earth of all charges. Humanity is recognized as an ally of the stars. The chamber fell silent. Serena stepped back, folding her arms. There, wasn't that fun? But just as she was about to turn toward the exit, the comm system crackled, and a cold, mechanical voice interrupted the broadcast. Council, this decision will not stand. Every alien froze. Serena's smile faded just a fraction. She knew that voice, and she knew this wasn't over. The voice echoed through every corner of the council chamber, cold, metallic, almost amused. Serena's eyes narrowed. Oh, him. Kizith looked around sharply. Who is speaking? Jace's visor flickered with data. He muttered under his breath, signals piggybacking on the council's main comm net. Not easy to do. The voice came again, smooth and sharp like a blade. Serena Vale. Still making aliens beg, I see. Still leaving a trail of trouble wherever you go. A few council members exchanged looks, some shocked, others curious. Vera's silver eyes narrowed. You know this being? Oh, I know him, Serena said slowly, her tone dripping with both irritation and something else. I taught him everything he knows, Jace smirked. And I'm guessing you didn't teach him how to interrupt you mid-victory? Exactly. Serena turned toward the shattered crystal wall. Show yourself, darling. You always did like making an entrance. The shadows outside shifted, and from behind the winged beasts, a figure emerged. Tall, clad in black armor traced with crimson light. His helmet's visor glowed a deep red, and even from here, his presence radiated danger. Several council guards took a step back. The voice spoke again, now from the figure itself. You think you've won, but these fools only fear you because they don't know what you really are. The beasts growled, but didn't attack. Serena raised an eyebrow. Careful, love. You're starting to sound jealous. The figure's helmet tilted. Jealous? No, disappointed. I remember a time when you were dangerous, when you didn't need beasts or blackmail to win. Oh, I still have all that, Serena replied, her smile returning slowly. I just upgraded my style. You should try it. At some time, if you ever get a date. That earned a few chuckles from the council, though no one dared laugh too loudly. The figure stepped closer, his armored boots making no sound against the floor. Jace instinctively shifted, his hand resting on the hilt of his sidearm. I'm not here for them, the figure said, his visor locking onto Serena. I'm here for you. The beasts took a step forward, but Serena lifted a hand to stop them. Her tone was soft now, dangerously soft. And what exactly do you want from me? There was a pause, and then the answer came, low and deliberate. To finish what we started, in your quarters, on Vega Station. Gasps erupted. Even Jace's jaw tightened. Serena's smirk didn't fade, but her eyes said everything. This wasn't just an enemy. This was personal. The figure raised his hand, and behind him, something massive shifted in the darkness. Something even the beasts seemed uneasy about. The chamber's air felt heavier now. Every council member sat frozen, torn between fear of the winged beasts and the dark figure who had just stepped inside. The shadows behind him shifted again, and then emerged something massive. 8 feet tall, plated in thick organic armor, eyes glowing like molten gold. A war beast from the outer rim, a creature no one had seen in centuries. Even the Draxian hunters lowered their heads and hissed. Jace's hand tightened on his weapon. Serena, tell me you didn't. She gave him a tiny smirk. No, he did. The figure in black armor gestured and the war beast stalked forward, its claws clicking like knives on the crystal floor. One last chance, Serena, the figure said, his voice low. Leave with me now, or I tear this little victory of yours apart piece by piece. She took a slow step forward, her boots echoing. Leave with you? Darling, I barely tolerated sleeping with you. Gasps broke out across the council again. Xith's mandibles clicked in disbelief. Careful, the figure said. You and I both know what I could tell them about you. Oh, I'm counting on it, she purred. Because the thing about humans is that we don't care if you know our secrets. We weaponize them. And then she whistled. It wasn't loud, but it was sharp. The Draxian hunters moved instantly, wings snapping open in unison. In seconds, they surrounded the war beast, cutting it off from its master. Jace grinned. Looks like someone's not the only one with pets. The black-armored figure didn't flinch. Instead, he reached up and removed his helmet. The entire hall seemed to inhale at once. Beneath the armor was a face that was far too human. Dark hair, sharp jawline, a scar trailing from his temple to his lips. Vera spoke first. He's human? Serena's smirk deepened. Oh yes, one of ours. The galaxy's second most dangerous human. He stepped closer, eyes locked on hers. You can win today, Serena. But you know I'll come for you again. She tilted her head, her voice a velvet whisper. I'm counting on it, because when you come back. She leaned in just enough for only him to hear. I'll make you beg too. His lips twitched into the faintest smile, before the war beast yanked him backward and the two vanished in a swirl of shadow and light. The chamber was silent. Every alien stared at Serena, waiting. She looked around at them, at the shattered wall, the winged beasts, the terrified but curious council, and then simply said, Trial over. You're welcome. Without another word, she turned and walked toward the exit. Jace followed, shaking his head with a grin. You love leaving them wondering, don't you? Oh, Commander, she said over her shoulder. That's the only way to leave. The Draxian hunters took to the skies outside, following their human commander back into the stars, leaving the council with one unshakable truth. Humans were impossible to control.